We'll go ahead and get started here. Oop, follow me. Come on over. There we go. It's gonna be like America's Funniest Home Videos here, trying to figure this out. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get going here. So we're gonna go through an introduction, kind of give you some of the course objectives on how Hitler and Nazi Germany is going to work. Okay. If you have not filled out, a survey yet that I sent out this morning, I welcome you to do that now. You're welcome to use your cell phone during that time. If you're using your cell phone before that, you should probably put that away. Okay? But there's a QR code. Just pull out your camera. You can scan that QR code right now. And guess what? You're able to take that survey. It shouldn't take any longer than 2 minutes. You can do it while this video is going to be playing here in just a second. Okay? Nonetheless, we're going to get started. I have a cool video to show you that'll kind of get you going, get your heart pumping a little bit. Okay?
Oh.
What's happened to him? He looks strange.
And what shoots doing here?
Hardened, I suppose.
His Excellency, Herr Garbage, Secretary of the Interior, Minister of Propaganda.
Corona veniat directis. Victory shall come to the worthy. Today, democracy, liberty, and equality are words to fool the people. No nation can progress with such ideas. They stand in the way of action. Therefore, we frankly abolish them. In the future, each man will serve the interest of the state with absolute obedience. Let him who refuses. The rights of citizenship will be taken away from all Jews and other non-Aryans. They are inferior, and they're enemies of the state. It is the duty of all true Aryans to hate and despise them. Henceforth, this nation is annexed to the Tomanian Empire, and the people of this nation will obey the laws bestowed upon us by our great leader, the dictator of Tomania, the conqueror of Austerlitz, the future emperor of the world. You must speak. I can't. You must. It's our only hope. Hope.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. To help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. We have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system, torture, and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. What is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie, they do promise, they never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Okay, so anybody know who that guy was? Anybody in theater or my ballet guys know who that guy was? That was Charlie Chaplin. Have you ever never heard of Charlie Chaplin before? He was one of the great actors when the silent film industry was going on. This was the first and last time he ever spoke on screen. He never had spoken on screen prior to this. And it kind of goes down as one of the greatest on-screen speeches of all time. Obviously, it has some characterizations of Hitler and Nazi Germany, in a way. It's very similar in that format, but it's not exact, okay? So what I found so interesting about this is the fact that Charlie Chaplin speaks about being a human, right? And we hear this all the time as a historical concept where those who do not understand history are doomed to repeat it, right? That's Carlos Santayana said that, and it rings true. That's a great historical concept. But what most history teachers, I'm not criticizing all of them, but what most of them fail to tell you is that history's design is to make you more human. And that is why you should take this course. That is why you should take this seminar. The reason why is not so you can learn about Hitler and Nazi Germany. You can learn about one of the darkest periods in world history, period, end of story. But it's so that you can learn to become more human and to be more humbled by what has gone on and to understand the freedoms that you have today and the abilities that you have today. And many, many Holocaust survivors have talked about that and the fact that, yes, we should be reflecting upon the fallacies of the past, but we also should be focusing on being a better human being, right? And that's why I love teaching history, right? Because it makes you more of a human being, it makes you more humbler, it makes you more excited about life in the end. And I hope if you don't get anything else out of this entire course, if you don't take another quiz or test, you don't remember all the crap that I just talked about, or that I'm going to talk about here in the next 9 weeks, I want you to know something, that history makes you more human, period. Whether you like it or not, it's going to make you more human if you make an understanding of it. And if you do it right, okay? That's where we're at. Okay. Nonetheless, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the learning targets that are available to you. How this works is you get any 1 credit of social studies, okay? You get half of an entire course that you will need to graduate, okay? You get U.S. history, world history, geography, history of the world, ethnic studies, or humanities, okay? Those are how we do it. Now, there are some social studies courses that are not allowed. That includes the United States government and the United States economics. Obviously, if you're taking a Hitler and Nazi Germany seminar, you're not going to be able to understand U.S. government very well. So that's the problem. So there's a little bit of a discipline issue there that goes about, that's okay. Take my government and economics seminar next year if you should insist, okay? Now, there's many English learning targets available to you if you take advantage of the opportunities, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about this, about some of the assignments that we're going to have throughout the seminar, okay? As well, you're going to get some science learning targets to that as well. You're going to, you'll end up with about 5 biology targets, I think, if I'm understanding right. The idea of natural selection, the idea of evolution is extremely present in the era of Hitler and Nazi Germany, and we're going to kind of look into that a little bit, okay? So if you take advantage of the opportunities, you are going to get quite a bit out of this course, okay? And I really welcome you to do that. I really welcome you to take advantage of everything that you possibly can in this course, okay? If you have not yet, this is another opportunity for you to pull your phone out, and you can do the Remind application setup, okay? All you have to do is text that number, and in the subject line you're going to put @Reichstag, okay? We'll talk about the Reichstag later, actually. It's pretty cool. So we'll look into that. If you have not done that, that's a great way for me to communicate with you guys. I love texting. You guys don't check your emails very often, and I found that you guys are glued to your phones. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to be able to text you. You can text me, which is pretty cool at any point in time. And I don't have to give out my personal cell phone number, which is cool. And all of it is tied with the school, which is great. The Remind system is tied with the school to where they see every text message on that database. Okay? So anything that you send me or I send you is sent directly to the school as well. So they receive every text that we get. So no matter what it is, you can text me about it, and it'll be safe in however you say that. So it is a safe environment nonetheless, okay? Here's the culture of the course, okay? I talked a lot about my government and economics course last term. I said, how do you want your, seminars to go? Do you want it to be somewhat more of a challenge for you? Do you want it to be at like a sophomore college level? Do you want to be taught like a college level course? Well, it's kind of weird to say that because you guys aren't sophomores in college, right? You're just high schoolers. So it's hard for me to say that. So what I'm going to tell you is that my seminars are a little bit more difficult than if you've taken one in the past, okay? But they are less demanding than a normal traditional class, which I kind of messed that up, that little thing there. Oh well, whatever. Oops. So what I want you to understand though, participation in the discussions are huge. Listening actively, taking notes, following along with the different dynamic lectures, discussions, the videos that you're watching if you're a virtual student is going to be important, okay? On discussion days, when you look at the Hitler and Nazi Germany seminar schedule, you will see discussion days, okay? It'll be highlighted in yellow for the lesson plan for today, okay? If it's a discussion day, I have a requirement now. If you were in one of my previous seminars, it's different, okay? Phones during discussions must be placed in front of the room, lined up right here actually, face down and lined up in order to receive credit for and to be counted as present for the days on discussion days. Okay? Period. End of story. The dynamic lecture days and general lecture days are really not necessary to have. So we'll kind of look into that in just a second though. But the reason why I do that is because phones during discussions have become a distraction. I'm looking at really, really good quality discussions. That's what's important to me. And so that's what I want you guys to do is to put those in front of the class so we have a really good, well-meaning discussion. And I think that makes a difference, okay? So how lessons are given. It's pretty simple on how I'm structuring this course and how I'm giving lessons. There's some projects that we're going to be doing throughout the course that you can take advantage of. There's some other options for you as well. We're going to have like movie days and stuff like that too. But I have 4 different ways that we're going to do this, okay? A dynamic lecture. How that works is I'm up here, I'm talking, probably not doing a PowerPoint like this, but I'll be talking. And on that dynamic lecture, you're able to interact with me. If you have a question, let's just say Mr. Armour has a question, and he says, Mr. Hammond, what do you think about this? And we can talk about it back and forth. And if somebody has a point to raise, they can talk about it. It can turn into a discussion, which is super cool, okay? So those are the dynamic lecture days is what I call them. This is kind of a unique way to say it. General lecture days is where we really have to kind of hit, it's like nose to the grindstone. It's really kind of, you're going to be kind of sitting here taking notes. The reason why I do that is because there is a lot of information to cover. You may think over the course of 20, 30, 40 years that there's not a whole lot to do. Like there's not a whole lot to finish up. But there's a lot of information we have to cover during that time. And sometimes I have to do a lecture, okay? Now, my lectures are fun. I assure you, don't freak out yet. They're cool, all right? I'm not just going to be standing up here reading from a book. I like goofing off, and I get on to different conversations about things, and then I say, oh, on this note, you remember about the time my dog got into a jar of pickles, and it's just stupid stuff sometimes. I'll get into that. Not something specific there, but I'll get into that a little bit, so I'll go on little tangents and stuff. It gets kind of fun, so that's how that goes. Okay, discussions are going to kind of be interesting too. General discussion days is we're going to do think, pair, share. Basically how that goes is the people that you're at around your table. You're going to be diving into it, thinking about it, and then you're going to pair together on it. And then you're going to pick a leader of your group, and you're going to discuss that concept. So it'll be over like readings, basically, is when we will be doing that. Anytime you have a reading, we'll probably have some sort of discussion day after that, so you can discuss the readings. And then we'll also have what we call Socratic discussion. If you're in the ICC, you probably know. Alyssa, can you go ahead and get that for me, please? Mrs. Swanger's room. She's in 116. Socratic discussion, basically, we're going to get up in a nice circle, and we're going to be able to just kind of talk about things that are relevant to the class, the topic, and all that's going on. Okay? So, here is some advice for getting through the course successfully. Okay? Yeah. What's going on? Who is it? Hang on, guys.
I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Hello? No sponsors. She's in there. Sure thing, thank you. Courtney, you are needed in the office. Gather your things, please. Okay, so here's some advice for getting through the seminar successfully, okay? First things first.
We have to just bring everything?
Yeah.
All my stuff. Look bad? Oh, that's scary.
Yep, I don't know. Okay, advice for getting through the seminar successfully. First of all, you need to make sure that you're attending and participating in the seminar, okay? Skipping the seminar because you're not feeling like it, or not participating because you don't feel like it, playing on your phone because you don't really feel like being in the seminar, is not something I really accept, okay? Your grade will be lowered because you feel like your feelings don't matter here, and it's somewhat disrespectful on my end, okay? I trust you. I'm going to try my best to keep this as interesting as possible, okay? I know we're kind of going through the logistics part here, and it's kind of boring, but we got to get through it, okay? So, that's how it goes. Second thing I recommend, not playing on your phone or computer for the entire time. Your phone or computer should be used for note-taking purposes or very quick research, okay? If you don't understand a word, you can look it up real quick, okay? Otherwise, shouldn't be on your phone. You shouldn't be Snapchat, you shouldn't be on Facebook, Twitter, whatever the hell you guys are on nowadays. Don't need you on it, okay? It's not necessary for this course at all, okay? If you are caught using your phone or your computer for another privilege, you will be giving a warning. The second time I have that instance happen, guess what? I'm taking your computer and your phone, they can sit right up here, and if I crunch over it, I really don't care. Okay? Pretty simple. Good agreement. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Second thing, do your readings. It makes a difference. I'm serious. The people who do well in this course are going to be the ones who do the readings. If you do not do the readings, you are going to struggle. Okay? I recommend you highlight them, you annotate them with pencil or pen, you use your different colored markers. I don't care what you have to do, make sure you do your reading, okay? Doesn't matter. If you got to read out loud to somebody else, it's great, fine. Do your reading though. It's important. Very, very important, okay? Last but not least, take detailed notes, okay? Get yourself a composition book. I have like 8 of them up here. Get yourself a composition book. I like these because they don't have spirals on them. They don't get all weird and wacky and bent out of shape, and you don't have to worry about the little like rips and tears and dirt getting all over the floor. I got a little bit of OCD, okay, guys? Hopefully you know that. Get a composition book, okay? Make sure it's blank. Then you can fill it up with as many notes as possible. You can doodle or whatever that you have to do in there, okay? I really, really recommend that you get one of those. That is, you're able to take good detailed notes. And that's not just for here. It's for college, for wherever else you go, whatever topic you're doing. Yes, ma'am?
Will you check them?
Yes, I was actually going to talk about that in just a second. Yes. So how this will work is we're going to actually have weekly note checks. So I'm going to check your notes once a week, basically. All I got to do is just look. I'm going to find a specific point that I'm interested in that you may have written down, or a certain word in that notebook. I'm going to check it, and if you have taken notes, guess what? You get a full point grade. That's awesome. Oh, great. Pretty simple, okay? Now, if you don't take your notes, obviously it's going to be a different ballgame, okay? So, recommend that. Also, if you are not much of a speaker, okay, I understand people are shy, people don't want to talk, they're not much of an extrovert like I am. What you can do is, this will help boost your participation grade, okay? If you are not much of a talker, guess what? You can take notes. You can take more notes, okay? More detailed you are on your notes, guess what? Better off you're going to be. And I'm going to boost your grade for that, okay? So maybe you didn't talk at the last discussion, but you took good notes over the discussion, and guess what? Boom! You get full points for the participation for that week, okay? Pretty cool that way. So here's some of the assignments for the course, okay? Actually, I have a handout here that shows all of the assignments. I'm going to have you guys just take one and pass it around, okay? So these are for you guys. It shows specifically what the assignment is. It shows you the score that you got if you want to get the score. If you want to record your own score, that's fine. It's going to show how many points it's out of. It's going to show what learning target you are going to get, or what part of the learning target you're going to get. It's going to show you any sort of notes that I have, and then it's also going to show like a student check. So maybe you are behind on an assignment or two. You need to put like a little check mark for every one that you do. Maybe you forgot something. Maybe you haven't done your 2 to 3 page paper number 1, okay? Or you haven't done your 2 to 3 page paper number 2. Then you don't have to do that, okay? So that's for you guys to use to be able to keep in mind what assignments are for the course, okay? Now, a couple things here. Obviously, we're going to have 2 to 3 page double-spaced papers for the 4 videos we will watch in the course, in the term. Okay? There's 4 videos we're going to be watching. I don't know what for it yet. I'm really kind of finding some stuff on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. I've watched like 20 hours worth of World War II, Hitler and Nazi Germany documentaries and films, and I've been very strict on my vetting for that. So I haven't found something yet, but I'm working on it, okay? I'm walking over here because my camera's not following me very well. Okay? So, it really likes Isabella, I think that's what it is. I don't know, whatever. So, like I said, there's 2 of them. So, out of the 4, you only have to do 2 of the 4. That's only half, okay? So, if you watch a film in here that you really like, bam, guess what? You can do a 2 to 3 page paper on. Great, that's awesome, right? It's also going to get you writing targets. It's going to get you speaking and listening targets because you have to listen throughout the video, right? So that's going to help you a lot, okay? It's great. You only have to do 2 of them. Do it based upon your interest. And when I get the syllabus, when I get all 4 of the films ready to go, I'll go ahead and let you know about those and what they are. Whenever we finish watching the movie, those papers will be due 1 week, 1 full week, 7 days after that movie has been finished up. Okay, so let's just say we start the movie on Wednesday, we finish it on Friday. Okay, guess what? You have until next Friday to have that turned in. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right. Also, you get the notebook scores. You can see that. There's notebook week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, all the way through week 9, right? It really, Devin, sit down. Jeez. All right, so notebook scores, like I said, I check those once a week. Basically, you get 10 points or you get no points, okay? So take notes, makes a difference, okay? And I'm not worried about how pretty your notes look or how detailed they are, all this, that. What I care about is you're getting your thoughts down, getting other thoughts down for that time, okay? You're also going to have quizzes here. There are 13 of them that we will be taking. Out of 28 days, there's 13 days. Guess what? First few days, you don't have a quiz. Woohoo! That means 26 days left. There's 13 pop reading quizzes, okay? Now, don't freak out, because I know there's not people that aren't quiz takers. I don't like taking quiz. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take the best 10 of those 13 quizzes for your score, for the history courses you're taking, okay? They are only 5 questions. I'm telling you right now, they're super, super easy. 5 questions. It won't take you any more than 3 minutes to do it. Okay? They're true, false, fill in the blank, multiple choice, or choice wording. They're not going to be a short answer. They're not going to be, hey, write a paragraph about this topic, or anything like that. And it'll be given at the end of the block. Okay? So we're going to basically talk about the quiz before you take it. And the last 5 minutes of class, you're going to have time to take it. And then guess what? You're done. 5 questions, you're done. You turn it in on paper for me to get it, you're good. Okay? Can't accept it on email, can't accept it on paper, or on any other source besides paper. Okay? So that's how that works. Even if you're a virtual student, I have to do that way. Okay? So there's the points breakdown. I was going to open that up for you, but you guys already have it. So my virtual students, they can look onto the block and see it from there, onto the PowerPoint. Okay? Now if you're absent, or you're on the quarantine list, or if there's something else that happens, I don't know, your dog dies. I hope that doesn't happen, but let's just say something happens, right? I don't know, what was I talking about? Dogs and pickles. Yeah.
He died for eating the pickles.
Yeah, what was it?
Your dog is allergic to pickles.
My
And then
dog's,
he
yeah, so my dog's allergic to pickles and somehow they die, right? Something circumstantial happens, okay? Doctor's appointments, sorry, they don't count. Well, yeah, I guess they do, technically by school code. But I would rather you not schedule a doctor's appointment during this time, if you can help it, okay? It just seems like you're avoiding me, which makes me really sad, okay?
Schedule my doctor's appointment. I told you that.
Sure you don't, sure you don't. I'm gonna flip this back over here. Come back, come back. I know, right? There we go. Follow me. Whatever.
It's on the top. It didn't work.
It ain't gonna work.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
On the pop quizzes, if we take notes, are we allowed to use them?
Technically no. Technically no. They're 5 questions. True, false, fill in the blank, multiple choice. It's gonna be super easy. You're probably not even gonna need your notes because you'll know already what those 5 questions are.
If you fail it miserably, then can you retake it?
No, because I'm gonna take, out of the 13 you take, I'm gonna take your 10 best. So I'm gonna throw 3
What if I
back.
fail all 13? I'm not good at it.
You're throwing a lot of what-if questions out, and we'll talk about that on next Monday.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So, virtual, if you are absent, you get on the queue list, I don't know, your dog dies from being allergic to pickles or something, I don't know. There are virtual recorded lectures on YouTube. It's on a private thing, that's why I've got this thing up, okay? Discussions, they're on the YouTube channel for you, okay? Consult that, look at the video, watch the video, do the work that you need to do, take your notes, and then you can either, if you're a virtual student, if you're on the queue list, you can make a Google meeting with me, or you can meet with me in person to discuss this for your credit, okay? That's how that'll work, pretty simple and easy, all right? For virtual learning, there are some guidelines I have for you. Virtual learning right now, it's conducted through Google Meet, but we're not doing that because it's already virtual for you guys, okay? So you don't have to be on Google Meet during the time we have this seminar, okay? Because I'm not going to be on Google Meet, I have enough technology to worry about now. I don't need you to be on Google Meet and have my iPad and drain my battery, okay? So that's simple. So we don't need to be on Google Meet. However, the next day, when the YouTube video is uploaded, I will have you watch that YouTube video, okay? So make sure that you're keeping up on that if you can. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I sound like a punk when I say that. I sound like a stupid millennial. I know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Smash that like button. Is that what they say? Yeah. I got it! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, so. So I already talked a little bit about this. I talked a little bit about this, but email or my notifications are permitted for teacher and student contact, okay? make sure that you're checking your email frequently. Make sure you're checking your remind text messages frequently as possible, okay? I really recommend you do that because I sometimes will throw a wrench in the whole system. I'll say, okay, well, we're going to switch up this lesson plan because this is the first time I've taught this. This is my first year teaching. So guess what? Things are going to change around a lot, okay? Hope you know. That's okay. I'm going to try to stick to the script as much as possible, okay? If we end up going virtual as a school, which I highly doubt this is going to happen, okay? This is what our schedule is going to look like. During Block 4, we will meet via Google Meet from 2 to 2:50, okay, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, okay? Mondays and Thursdays, I'm on office hours. That's how it goes. However, we're under a different circumstance. We will be 2 o'clock to 2:50 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, okay? Because that's when our seminar is. You can't really switch that around, okay? So that will stay the same, okay? Office hours, Google Calendar appointment, scheduled through Google Calendar, all right? Super simple, very easy. Okay, here's another wrench I'm going to throw in your system that's a little bit different from the last seminar. If you are thinking this seminar is not for you, that's okay. I recommend that you go through these steps, okay? Step 1, give it a few days. Seriously, this is just the start, okay? We haven't got to the fun parts yet. Give it a few days, see what you think before dropping it now, okay? It's only the start, and you haven't got really to the good parts yet. You don't. It's Old English word for idiot. So, yeah, don't do it. Okay? Step 2. You need to be within the 2-week, and I call it the add drop period. Okay, when you go to college, you'll know what this add drop period is. Basically, it's you can kind of test out the course to see what it's like the first week or so, and then if you don't like it, then you're good. Okay? Before February 1st, you need to drop this. Okay? If you don't like this, give it a couple days. But if you're still not liking it after a couple days, guess what? Come talk with me. Come talk with your advisor. But you need to be within that 2-week add drop period, which is before February 1st. Okay? If you don't like me, you hate my guts, better get on. You better get out of here. Okay?
You're so aggressive.
I know,
Your
right?
PowerPoint is so aggressive.
Alright, so I'm gonna let you know this since nobody's around. I was like, when I was doing this slide, I was not drunk.
Are you sure?
I was feeling really good that night, okay? I was not drunk.
Sure.
Cross my heart hope that I was not drunk. I just had a couple beers before I started. Because I just got this idea, okay?
Were you tipsy or tipsy?
No, I was not. Okay. Alright, so just alcohol's bad. Stay away, okay? Here we go.
What's that about you go home and you start up your
Step 3. Step 3. Here we go. Step 3. If it is after February 1st, sorry, too bad, so sad. I don't know what to tell you because you're going to finish it whether you like it or hate my guts or you hate the course, whatever it is. I don't care. You're going to take it. You're going to suffer through it with me, okay? That's how we're going to do it, okay? So, here's the deal though. Always, before you drop a seminar, it doesn't matter if it's for this seminar, doesn't matter if it's for Handmaid's Tale, doesn't matter if it's for Map My World, whatever course you're taking, you need to make sure that you talk with your advisor before you drop out, okay? But I ask you, just don't do that because it would just break my heart. I mean, I love all y'all. I hope we get to grow each other. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this question. It's 2:30 now. Do we want to get into this now, or do we want to wait?
Is it
Oh, wait on it? Okay. All right.
Wait, because I'm leaving.
Okay, cool. We'll wait on it. We'll wait until probably Monday.
Are you gonna?
or weekend
Yeah.
homework?
All right, hang on a second, guys. No, hang on. Oh, hold on. Okay, so after you're delivering that, are there any questions? Yes, Mr. McGuire.
Are you gonna redo this because of your camera to post it on YouTube?
No, it'll probably just stay the same because I'm not gonna go through this again. Yes.
Oh, it's so cute.
Am I going to be famous? And also, how does this work on Miles?
Am I going to be?
I don't know why.
It was on me because I'm really cool.
Yeah. There we go.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna
That'll work. Okay. So, Garrett, what was your question? Hey.
How is this going to work with Miles? Is it going to like all happen at once at the end of the progress?
You're gonna have to speak up, buddy. I can't hear you.
How is this progress going to be charted in Miles?
Oh.
Is it going to be like all at once at the end of this 9 weeks, or is it going to be gradual?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So how this works is if you are in a history course, obviously your bar is not going to progress if I put it at the end of the 9 weeks, right? I'm not going to give you that full credit at the end of the 9 weeks because then guess what? It's going to show that you're in the red and you've done nothing for 9 weeks, even though you have. So here's how I'm going to equate it. If you're doing the ad hoc history credit for whatever course, if you took the survey, if you filled out that survey, I'll know where you're at. If you did that, I'm going to put in 0.112 ad hoc credit on Fridays, okay? And how that equates out to is after 9 weeks, that 0.112 accumulated over the course of the 9 weeks, once a week, you get a tenth of a credit basically. You will end up with 1.05 credits by the end of this term, okay? So that's how that'll work for you. It ends up being 1.05, and that's as close as I can possibly get without going to the hundreds of thousands of place. So I'm not a math whiz, but I did what I could, okay? Unless you want to do calculus for me. Do you care?
No.
All right, good.
I'm
All right.
out there. I
Yeah.
don't wanna- no.
Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Yeah, TK.
If you miss a day and you don't get the credit for that day, can you not get it back?
You can. You have to do it through virtual learning. You'll do it through there, watching the video, and then from there, you can come meet with me, and we'll discuss alternatives to the quiz or to whatever you missed, basically. So it's kind of taken on a case-by-case basis, basically. But there should be no opportunity, whether you're sick or not, to not watch the virtual learning stuff.
And watching the YouTube video.
Say what?
You want us throwing up and watching the YouTube
Yep.
video.
Yeah, I want you to try to watch the YouTube video.
proud about it.
Yep.
He's
I don't care. You're gonna be sitting there watching Netflix anyways. So you might as well watch my beautiful face on YouTube,
No.
right? All right. That's how it works.
I
Okay.
wouldn't go that
Send
far.
it to TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure that you send it to the video.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I have that, yeah,
This
have that proof. See?
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So I kind of want to go. I'm gonna go into a little bit of a rant here about some things. Okay.
What are they gonna run?
Why is right now a perfect time to be talking about German history, Nazi Germany, the rise and fall of Adolf Hitler? Why is that important? You guys, this is kind of our dynamic lecture right now, okay? Talk to me about it. Grill.
I want to say history is repeating itself.
History is repeating itself? How do you mean that?
Democracy in America is taking a shit.
Okay, so democracy in America is doing poorly now, right?
Yeah,
We're struggling. We saw recently, just within the last week, the storming of the Capitol building.
that was
Right? That's a concern. We discussed that. A lot of us discussed that last week. So that was a problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that a problem?
Because we're all gonna be dead. Well, that's a couple hundred. That's a couple hundred years out.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Grill.
Since that happened, we are no longer looked by the world by the country of democracy. We are now James Bond.
Yeah. So we now have this mentality that probably is echoed throughout the world. We can assume that the United States is starting to crumble, or the democracy or the security of the nation is not as strong as it has been in recent years. Right? That's something true. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Why is this seminar so apropos right now? What? If you know, apropos is perfect time. Okay. Why is this seminar such a perfect timing right now? Anybody else know?
I mean, because you're learning more about politics.
Learn a little bit more about politics,
And-
right?
Because in my family, all it is politics in my family at the moment. So if I would take this course, I would know more and be able to stand up for myself and
Yeah.
what I believe.
Right. And we'll look at the reign of Hitler and Nazi Germany specifically, right? So this is a great concept right here. The idea of politics, this is why the rise of Hitler and Nazi Germany became such a popular concept in the early 20th century, okay? And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, raise your hand, all right? This is kind of a one-sided question. Raise your hand if you know Hitler to be an elected leader. Was Hitler elected to office? No, most of you believe that because I've probably told you because I've gotten on rants about it. 98% of most America's population, they do not believe that Hitler was appointed chancellor, and we'll talk about that. They thought he was elected through a democracy, right? And the Weimar Republic, we'll look at this later on. Weimar Republic was a democracy of some sort, right? The problem is, though, Hitler was never elected into office, okay? So if you ever say when Hitler was elected, I'm going to correct you because it's wrong. It is very wrong. And you should correct them, okay? Because you hear this all the time. I remember hearing it in 2016, and actually I've heard it in 2020 a couple times, where you've heard, oh, well, we're electing a fascist. Or, oh, we elected a communist. We elected a modern Hitler into our office.
Oh, I've
Right?
heard this story.
You've heard this happen, right? Well, that's not true. Hitler was never elected into office, okay? He never was. And like I said, I think you better fact check that person if they say that.
That's gonna be
Okay?
so much fun.
And actually, one of my most famous, I wrote a letter to the guy, Fareed Zakaria, one of the greatest world news reporters. He said in one of his books called Illiberal Democracy that Hitler was elected into office.
Oh.
You know what I did? I wrote him a letter and I said, that is not true at all. He said, after all, this is how Hitler was elected into office. And it was not true at all. Yeah?
Wait, why do you think he was elected?
They use it as a way to show, when we look at the perception of Hitler, we know it to be negative, right? That's how we see Hitler, as a fascist. He is an extreme, alternative right, demonic person, an evil, evil person, right? And anybody who knows any little inkling of Hitler, if you went and asked a sixth grader right now, they would denounce Hitler, right? Because we know him to be a horrible, horrible person. He was responsible, partly, for the extermination of 6 million Jews, right? That's a problem. But what we don't understand is the idea that Hitler was not only him. And this is where it gets super interesting, and I challenge you, if you want to go look at a history textbook, a world history or U.S. history textbook, to look at how the perception of Hitler is portrayed in a textbook. It's almost, he is idolized, okay? But here's the thing that's interesting. Yes, it's a fascist dictatorship, right? And if you know what the word fascism is, it's ruled by one. The entire state, the entire government is controlled by one person. That is true, yes. But the problem that's interesting that we will look at, specifically with Hitler and Nazi Germany, is that Hitler's rise and the responsibility of him exterminating 6 million Jews and the final solution of the Jews is not his. And this is where my thesis comes along. It was not just him that was responsible for the 6 million deaths of Jews. It was the responsible of the entire Nazi Germany. But it's easier to just put the blame on one person, right? And actually, it really wasn't quite Hitler. If you look at the factual evidence, it really wasn't quite Hitler that fully said, let's go with the final solution. It was his cronies. It was the SS, the Schutzwaffen. Okay, so that's interesting to see that. Yeah? What'd you say? Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so that's something interesting too. Yes, Marissa.
So in my history class last year, we talked about this a little bit. And didn't Hitler, when he rose to his power, didn't he lie to everybody, telling them that he was gonna make everything better, and he just killed a bunch of people?
So we will look at the speeches of Adolf Hitler.
Okay.
Yep, in between 1923 to 1933, and we will see how Hitler as an orator came to power. And if you don't know anything about Hitler, he was an excellent public speaker, excellent. And now much of his rise is contributable to that. So yeah, great concept. Okay. What else? Yeah, Mr. Raymond.
How exactly did Hitler get into the position he was? Not to
It's extremely complicated. A lot of people, like I said, believe that it went through elections, which is partly true, partly false. A lot of people believe that his rise to power was because he just staged a coup, which is partly true, partly false. Historians debate it largely because there were so many different factors that caused it. And we're going to talk about that. That'll probably be towards the end of January, beginning of February, when we'll discuss that, specifically the consolidation of the Nazi state. So it'll be pretty cool to see that. Okay? Anybody else? All right, so this is going to be kind of shortened today. Usually I will not end at 2:40, but I kind of want to leave you guys to think about it, talk about some stuff, and then I think, I don't know. Let me ask you this here. Since we got another 25, this is not often a democracy, this is more of a dictatorship, hope you know. But right now it's kind of a democracy right now. Do you want to continue on with our discussion that we were going to probably talk about on Friday and not have any seminar on Friday for you guys to kind of just prepare yourselves? Or do you want to just cut it out here, have the discussion on Friday?
Discussion on Friday.
Discuss it on Friday? Okay, all right.
we're
So,
not training.
Friday, what I recommend you do for your homework tonight, I'm going to send out a remind here in a second. If you have not signed up for that, please do it now. You need to make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see when videos are posted. You need to make sure you're set up on the Remind application. You also need to bookmark my social studies courses page. You can find that on the, there's multiple different ways to find it. You can find it on the schedule. You can find it through the ICC term schedule. You can see it through the Hitler and Nazi Germany schedule specifically. There's a couple of different ways for you to be able to get access to that website. And I recommend you put that to your bookmarks bar or tab or whatever you have, or find some way to save that website so that you're able to easily access it, okay? So that's a good way of communication as well. Plus you get to learn a little bit more about me, which is pretty neat. I got like an About Me page, and a page for parents, and a page for students, and it's a resource page. It's got all my courses on there, so if you had a question about Learning Target, it's on there. It's all kinds of good stuff, so it's all good. Say what?
I have like a weird question in my head.
Oh, okay. Yes?
Can we go back to the slide for the remind?
For the remind? Yeah. Yeah, I'll go back to that.
I think I put it in and it said that it was wrong.
It didn't work out.
I gave me
There it is. So that's the number you text, the 81010. And then the subject, you need to put the @ sign and Reichstag.
Oh,
You have to put the @ sign in it. Yep. Okay. My phone's not gonna blow up here. Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything like that? I usually don't, like I said, I don't like ending early because that's time taken away from you guys, but it's okay. Yes? I haven't decided yet. I've got a couple of options. I really have a couple of them. Oh, wait, stop. Sorry, stop, hold it. What? If you have not picked up a movie permission slip for the seminar, you need to do that, okay? These are due by February 1st, okay? So you got a little bit of time to fill it out, but the sooner you get it done, the sooner you can get it back, okay? So come pick one of these up sometime between now and the end of the day. Get them back by February 1st, okay? The reason why I do it, it's not because we're going to be watching a rated R movie or anything like that, but because there's going to be some stuff in here. Obviously, the Holocaust era and the era of Hitler and Nazi Germany is very violent, it's very graphic, and it's quite ugly. And I want to make sure that your parents are okay with showing some of that content. Technically, by state standards, it is okay for me to show images of the Holocaust and gore and blood and stuff like that from it, but I want to make sure that things are okay on your end. But you guys are high schoolers, you should be able to handle it okay, but I'm using this as a little precaution, okay? So make sure you fill this out, get it to me by February 1st. If you need one, you come get one. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks.
Can I get a shout out?